Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the Camaro. I'm going to be letting you know what I think about the Camaro and stuff that I plan on changing on the car later on. We are getting ready to pull the engine out, so it's the perfect time to do this because it's going to be down for a couple days. This is the best time to do it. If y'all like this video and y'all would like to see more content, please like and subscribe and hit the bell at the bottom of the video. We much appreciate it. It helps out the channel, and we will be bringing more content. I appreciate it, guys. Alright guys, topic of the day, 3rd gen Camaros. Some people hated them, some people loved them, but you can't deny the performance behind one of these cars. I mean, this is one of my first 3rd gens, and I've fallen in love with this car. It handles amazingly. It's one of those cars that, I think it got underrated quite a bit, but they did start it out with the 305 tune port injection, and they did offer it in a 350, but the problem with the 350 is they only offered it in an automatic, which kind of sucked. I didn't really like that when I heard about that, so you kind of have to go with the 305 tune port. You get the manual transmission, 5-speed T5 transmission. I mean, this thing is a beast. Suspension's all right. It's not great. There's definitely some room for improvement, but this motor has actually got an aftermarket motor in it. Well, not aftermarket, but it's a 95 out of a Tahoe or Suburban motor, Vortec. I mean, it's a good motor for an upgrade. If you've got one of these cars and you do want to, take that 305, which I consider a boat motor, they don't make enough power to blow themselves up. You want to take that motor out and you want to put something that's going to be more dynamic. It's going to push more power. You can do more stuff to it. I mean, it's easy enough to take this motor, throw some heads on it, headers, intake, and make a little bit of power out of it. And if you do have the money, pull the motor and build it all the way up like I did. I mean, it's just whatever you can afford, but these motors are great motors. Everybody's going to the LS, and I understand the LSs, they're great motors. They are fantastic if you have the knowledge and you are knowing on how to do an LS swap. But if you're not that knowledgeable and you want something that's easy, simple, that you could do a fuel injection setup on, these 350s are a dime a dozen. You can get them cheap. They are a powerhouse. They've been that way for years, and you can make power out of these things. It may not be the power that these LSs are making with turbos and superchargers, but you can make power with these on a budget. And that's why I think this car with a 350 in it is going to be the best combination. Alright, so when I found this car, it almost looked too good in the pictures, but it ended up actually being a really good car. When you're looking for one of these cars, you want to take the T-tops out, you want to look up there, pull the rubbers back, make sure there's no rust, look underneath the car. I mean, these cars are really a dime a dozen, and you can find them just about anywhere, but you want to find one that ain't been freaking destroyed and just rawhided by a teenager. And this one, you could just tell that even though it does have 207,000 miles on it, the person that owned it took phenomenal care of it. I mean, the seats don't have no rips in it, the dash is not cracked. That's a first for me in these cars. The headliner's not drooping. The panels are in pretty decent shape. They're not bad. I mean, on a scale 1 to 10, I'd probably give them about a 5. They're a little faded. That stuff happens in the sun. But when you find one of these cars, I mean, you just have to be careful. You have to look at the car, look it over, make sure that everything looks good on the car. And I got really lucky when I found this car. I'm the 4th owner of it. An old man owned it before. I don't know what he was planning on doing with the car, but it's already got frame connectors on it, so that's kind of a plus. It's got factory suspension underneath it. The steering does feel, if I had to say anything, it feels a little sloppy, but I mean, that could be all adjusted up in the steering box. And some of the suspension is a little bit wore out. You can definitely tell it needs, you know, ball joints and stuff like that. So with that said, even with the way the car is, with the motor that's in it, it's still a good car. I mean, you could buy this thing and take it to the track and run it around the track for a little bit. But, I mean, if you want to turn heads and you want to make a little bit more power, that's where the upgrades in the motor come from. You mean you put some heads on this thing and it'll change it completely.
Jesus, it's kind of hard to stay stable.
It won't break it loose. Should have said something about that too. Change the rear end out. It's junk.
Soundstripe.